Good to have you here tonight. It's good to see everybody here tonight. I hear a hum in the background. I'm going to ignore it. Laurie, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, some of the vital statistics.
We have 4 children. 3 of them are married. They're 29, 27, 25, 2 boys and a girl. Then our youngest is almost 18. He's a senior at Cochrane. And Dan and I have been married for almost
34
years. 33 and a half. And I grew up here in Cincinnati.
Okay. Tell us more about that. I'm assuming you're not only a mother, but you were a child at one time.
I was. Just
speak on. You gotta crank up the volume.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and share that?
Yeah. Tell about your childhood.
Okay. Well, I grew up over on the east side and was very active in church and school. And
brothers and sisters?
Oh, that's right.
You know?
I have an older sister, 5 years older than me, and she lives in Florida. My brother, a year older than me, has since died, and my mom has died also, but my dad is living in Florida.
Okay, would you all give us just 1 minute alone here? Everyone can hear it.
Okay, here I am.
All right, we're back now. You can look again. I wouldn't do that for anyone else. Laurie, tell us about your spiritual journey, would you please? I know Laurie shared 6 months or so ago, but there's so many new people to the church since then. I want her to share specifically just about how she came to faith in Christ. So would you tell us about that?
I'd love to. I grew up going to church. Our faith seemed to be more of a private thing. I felt like it was the respectable or responsible thing to do, to go to church. And so somehow I learned that my sister had come to know Christ when she was in high school. And my grandparents' love for me and their faith, they expressed their faith. And so that was the most I heard about faith, apart from going to Sunday school and having really great Sunday school teachers. But I knew after watching Billy Graham, just about every time he was on TV, that I had not made that decision to follow Christ. I knew that was a time, there was a time in every person's life where they made that personal decision. And so I knew that my faith had not gotten to that point. And so I didn't have that security in my life that I found I was looking for in other places. So that when I went off to college, I thought, well, I'll just explore my faith on my own. And I went to church just a few times and decided it was irrelevant and didn't go back. So it was probably after a couple of years in college that I came to understand and realized that I just didn't have it all together. I was in a relationship with a guy that I found myself compromising my integrity, and it was not a healthy relationship, and we were engaged to be married, and I just came to understand there was an area in my own life that I really didn't have control of, and so I decided to break off the engagement, and I remember that night I cried out to God and said, I need help. Please send someone to me that can help me and explain what's right and what's wrong. And I really was looking to God for help because for the first time I think I really admitted that I needed help. I was a pretty self-sufficient, independent person, and so it's kind of a wake-up call. Not long, maybe a month after that, there were some ladies that were sharing their faith in the dorm, and my roommate actually came and found me, though I'd never told her about this prayer that I had prayed. I just amazed at God how He orchestrated her finding me and bringing me back and introducing me to these ladies. And one of the ladies, whose name was Mary Lou, came and asked me if I would like to just study the Bible with her. And I said, that would be awesome. I really need help. And so she began to meet with me weekly. And I just sensed that she really cared about me. She really accepted me for who I was, but her faith was something that I recognized but I knew I didn't have. And one evening, she invited me to a meeting at a couple's home that I found out that this meeting in Stone Mountain, Georgia was going to change my life. There was a man that was speaking, and his name was Skip Gray, and he spoke on Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. And those verses say that therefore, since we have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us lay aside every encumbrance and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that's set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who endured the cross just for the joy that he endured the cross, despising all the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of God. And that verse just really challenged me. And so I wanted to ask him afterwards some questions. And he very gently, after answering my questions, asked me what was my relationship with Christ like. And at that point, I realized that I had been actually, by not trusting him, I was actually rejecting him. And so I asked Mary Lou to come and help me pray, and I just confessed that night that I had an awful lot of pride and independence and self-sufficiency. I was just in rebellion against God, and so I asked him to forgive me. And I know on the basis of what Jesus did on the cross and the fact that he rose from the dead, I could experience forgiveness. And I found a new peace and joy that I had never. I'd always rest my security in maybe my performance or pleasing other people. And now I knew I was a new person. And so God gave me just a desire to know him better. And I studied the Bible and got into fellowship with other mutually encouraging relationships. And just wanted to give my life to him, trusting him to guide me. And I realized that I could pray for my future husband. And so I thought that was really great, and was challenged just to wait on God and be patient and see what he was going to do.
Awesome. You have a picture of you and Mary Lou?
I think he put it up.
Oh, did you put it up, Reb?
Okay. There she is. That's 14 years later, and 15 years later and before now. So I knew her 30 years ago. So.
It's awesome, honey, to hear how God's worked in your life. But would you share with us a little bit about what you do here at the church? What is your role here on staff?
Well, I direct the Alpha program, and we do that twice a year. Alpha is Introduction to Christianity, and it's a course that's all over the world in 67 different countries. Millions have gone through it in the past 20 years. Here at this church, we've done it almost 19 times, I believe. For small groups and middle-sized groups, up to 100 people have come. And it's just a life-changing event. I also am director of assimilation, so I make phone calls to newcomers that are interested in joining the church.
Awesome. You have a video?
I do.
We have a video to see. Just give you a little taste of what Alpha is like and how it impacts people's lives. So, ready to run that?